Hey guys, I'm Mimi and I do all sorts. And today we are going to take a gander at the erasable coloured pencil. Yep, you heard me right folks, it's an erasable coloured pencil. I'm looking like graphite, it looks like a colouring pencil, but it erases. And as you can see, there's the colour, there's the eraser, and it erases. Simple. But why an invisible colouring pencil, you're asking? Well, it's a better alternative if you don't want to commit to coloured lead from mechanical pencils, which can break easily and doesn't erase well if you're heavy-handed like me. And also like me if you don't have watercolour pencils. Now, I like to use watercolours, but I don't like to use graphite because it muddies the colours even with erasing. Now, today I'm going to show you 6 different brands in various price ranges from the cheapest to the more expensive. Originally, I only owned 2 of the ones on the list. I wanted to do this comparison chart mainly because I needed a cheaper alternative to the more expensive brands. I will not be ending the full packs from the 2 I own, seeing how I already have them, and one is too elusive for me to get a hold of. The ones I already own, and the Staedtler Norris Erasable in red, which I got from a scroll box. It's soft to work with, but it also needs constant sharpening, and as you can tell I have used it quite a bit. Next, I have the Prismacolor Color Erase Pencil in blue. I only use this one for a piece I am currently working on and I really like it, but it's also one of the more expensive. I got it in Jazz's Jazzy Art box created by Value Tube and Jazza, which is no longer available. So, without further delay, let's meet the contestants, from the cheapest to the more expensive. Side note, I live in the UK, so everything will be in the British pound. All prices are from Amazon, but with a bit of research I did find 1 or 2 cheaper elsewhere. The first was the cheapest, from Artbox. And this is the second time the camera has picked it up, and we're off to a good start. And this was £2.55 for a box of 10. It's cheap, so I'm not expecting great hopes on it, but this is what it's all about. The back, pretty plain, all of the usual stuff, you know, it's badly recycled, not suitable for children in 36 months. How old is that? I do not know. Will you please just give me actual years? And as you can see, we have them all in various different colours, which is what we want. Light shades, dark shades, and really weird, odd. No idea what's going on with it. And it's orange, but so far I like it. Now if we can take a closer look at the pencil, we can see that it's just a plain barrel, and the focus is going really weird. You've got the coloured lead on one end and the eraser on the other. Right, next up is the one I've shown you before. This is the Staedtler Norris Erasable. I can send to have one, but you can get a set of 12 for £5.18. And as you can see, red with a nice bit of white on it. I don't know if that's for design purposes, I don't know. And again, the eraser on the other end. Right, next up is Caran d'Ache. It's another good brand. I could only find a set of 2, and this actually set me back £6.68. I did, however, find them cheap for around about £5. As you can see, it is very nicely put together. I love the professional aspect of it. It's clear, you can see what it is. Unfortunately, they are in non-photo bloom pencils, and as you can see, you've got bloom there, erasers on the end, and on the back it actually shows you like the different stages of the sketching process, and once you erase it, you won't be able to see it. And it even shows you there, you know, and once you erase it, you're not supposed to see it afterwards. Right, next up is an absolute classic and our favourite brand, Crayola. This is a set of 12 for £7.08. You can see it's in the classic Crayola box. It's bright, it's colourful, it's cheerful. On the back you've got all of the different colours, you know, and Eco-Evolution. Oh, that's nice, and it's going to be eco-friendly now, which is what we need. And here you can see all of the different colours that you can get, and the camera is actually picking up the vibrancy of each and every pencil. So here we have a closer look at one. The barrel is in the classic Crayola crayon kind of design, and it says erasable coloured pencils, and there's Crayola. I think the barrels matching the lens, when you don't normally get these days. Oh, and it does actually say in red on the pencil as well. That's actually quite nice. Oh, and the eraser is the same colour as well. Oh, that's canny. Right, so next up we have Faber-Castell. Yeah, the box is all but beaten up, and this is how I received it. But anyway, Faber-Castell is another great brand for any level. Some of the higher brands, like the Polychromos pencils, are fantastic, and I love their watercolour pencils as well. This is a set of 12 for £7.70. As you can see, it's in the classic Faber-Castell red box. You can see what it is in the front. It's an eco pencil. Apparently it doesn't break. And on the back, the information. Inside we have all of our pencils, which are beautifully bright and vibrant. And this is the close-up of the pencil. The barrel is plain colour. This is made in Germany, and then it's quite a novelty these days, is that you can write your name on them. So on this one you've got the colour of the lens matching. Ooh, that actually matches the barrel perfectly. Can't say the same for the rubber. It looks a little bit dry, but this is why we do tests. And now we come to the most expensive and most elusive, the Prismacolor Col-Erase. I am glad I got this one in an art box, because a set of 12 can set you back £10.70, and that is only for one colour. I say it's elusive because I saw a box of 12 different colours for about £15. The next day I checked and it wasn't even listed anymore. I checked a few of the sites I go to and I couldn't find anything but the 12 single coloured ones. I wouldn't mind, because Prismacolor is meant to be the best. I have the Prismacolor Premiere ones and I love working with them, but even that one set me back about £80, and that was not even the RRP price, which was extortionate. But the colours are beautiful. It's a shame I couldn't get a hold of it. So now after we've met the contenders, now we're on to the chart. This is the first time I had to draft one up to do various comparisons from the price to the experiments, so if I am missing anything, I'm sorry. As you can see, you've got the contenders down this side, and along the top in different tabs. Self-explanatory, so we have the sets available, the price per pencil if you want a deeper breakdown, which is always good, especially with sets. The erasability, which apparently is actually a word. I will be doing a light, medium and dark pencil for each, except for the Norris and Prismacolor. Each one will be anti-medium pressure. Durability. This one is just as important as the erasable aspect because some makes break easier than others. Like Prismacolor Premier pencils break easily, so I'm going to take one for the team and purposely break the lead and see how they sharpen afterwards. Then lastly, for myself, I'm going to see how they fare with my preferred poison, watercolours. Don't know if it's a good idea, but hey, why not? Right, so now on to the fun stuff. I'm going to concentrate on Artbox, Staedtler and Caran d'Ache for the moment, and then work on to the others. Right, so Artbox, I only found in a set of 10. And that was for £2.55. And price per pencil is 25 pence. Yeah, I don't have the neatest of all handwriting, so please bear with me. Instead, Norris I found in a set of 12 to 36. They had a really wide range of colours, so I was really happy with that one. And that ranged from £5 for the smaller set to £9 for the larger set, which isn't too bad. And the price per pencil was 43 pence for the smaller and 25 pence for the larger. Caran d'Ache I couldn't, like I said, only find in a set of 2. I have tried, but all I could find was those 2 pencils. And that one I paid £6.68, from which is a whopping £3.34 for each. That's quite extortionate, and that's just for 2 pencils, so in essence, yes, that does make it the most expensive. Right, Crayola I found in a set of 10 to 24. Again, wide range of colours. The price ranged from £6 to £11 for the largest set. The price per pencil is 59 pence for the smaller set and 45 pence for the larger. Faber-Castell and found in a set of 12 and 24. I'm sorry for the pen, it has rubber nib on it, but it does write like a dream. The price range for that was from £8 for the smaller to £12 for the larger. Price per pencil is 64p for the smaller and 15p for the larger. And for the Prismacolor I found in a set of 12, again in a single colour, to a whole set of 24 different ones. Again, availability issues. Well, for me anyway. The price range from £10 for just the single colour to a whopping, and wait for it, £64 for the 24 set. Yeah. So, price per pencil is 89 pence from the small set, which means for the large one it's £2.66 per pencil, ergo making it the most expensive so far from the entire set. So before we get into the actual experimenting, we are going to have a closer look and get to meet the pencils a bit better. So up first we've got our box. I've chosen blue for all of these because these are the ones that I'm going to destroy later, except for the Norris, which is red. So let's have a go. Ooh, that actually feels quite nice. It's got a light feel to it. Feels like I'm using a normal coloured pencil. Seems to have to a good start, and that's the cheapest pencil. And so next is the Norris. This feels a lot softer. As you can see, it covers a lot more ground and looks a lot softer on the page, whereas that one was a little bit more harsher. Downside is it does actually wear down quite quickly, and compared to the other ones I haven't actually used in that much, but there is a bit of a difference. And onto Caran d'Ache. Oh wow, this is one dense lead. Oh, it's wearing down quite a bit, and like I said, it's very dense. It's a bit hard to control. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of it, but I do like the fact that it's quite light. So yeah, I mean I can feel it dragging when I'm doing this, so yeah, I'm not a big fan. Right, next up is Crayola. Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Now if I thought the Caran d'Ache was dense. Jeez. This is bad. All I can say is don't use this on printer paper, use it on really thick industrial. Jeez. Oh no, I don't like it. Just doing squiggles, and it's really, really hard to control. I mean, I can hear it and dragging. Beautiful colour, man, but nah, that is like seriously dense. It's definitely my least favourite so far. Right, on to Faber-Castell. Oh, jeez. I can tell a massive difference between the Crayola and the Faber-Castell. As soon as I decided to put it on the page, that was it. Straight off it went. Oh no, I really do love the feel of this one. It feels light. the lead feels decent and it's not going down as fast as like the Norris and the Caran d'Ache. Colour is really beautiful and I've gone far better control with this one. Yeah, I think Faber-Castell is my new favourite at the moment. Last but not least, the Prismacolor Colour Race. Oh jeez. I've been using this for a while and you know, just gone through all of the different ones. This has got to be the lightest pencil that I've used so far. There is a stark difference. I mean, from the, well, not the Caran d'Ache, the Crayola that was heavily dense. This is seriously light. I don't know which is lighter, the Faber-Castell or the Prismacolor. And it's covering really beautifully. It feels really light. Easy control within the pencil. And then it's gone, I wouldn't say like a creamy texture because I know the Prismacolor is a wax base. But it just feels so nice to work with. Right, so there you have it. Then there's a little tester sheet, and I'm sorry to say, but so far I'm actually really impressed with the Prismacolor in terms of workability. I'm coming up with a lot of abilities saying, but like I say, Prismacolor at the moment feels like it's, you know, just really good to work with. You know, great control. It feels light to work with. It hasn't worn down. So only time will tell. So now let's get on with the erasability test. Right, so I've taken liberties of pre-drawn on here, and now you've got a really lovely. Sorry, my voice has just decided to croak. You can see then, and you can see the texture of the graphite on the paper. This is actually a mixed media paper, since I will be using. Let's get to it. What I've done is that I chose a light colour, a medium colour, and the darkest colour, which is black. 3 of them don't have that many colour choices, as you know, like the Caran d'Ache, the Norris, and the Prismacolor. And you know, and so here we go with an art box. Like I said, this is put down with medium pressure. As you can see, and it's not too bad. I mean, if you're going over within some watercolour and, you know, and you still want to be able to see when you erase it or go over it with the kneaded eraser. So you can still see little bits there shown. Right, onto the Norris Staedtler. As you can see how soft and the lens has actually been on this paper. You can see every single little grain of texture. Right, let's go. And that one's went a little bit better. And it's not showing up as that red. And soft pencils normally pick up a lot better than heavy duty ones, like if you really burnish into the paper. And I can say I use this one a lot, and it work with this one a lot, so I kind of know this pencil and didn't my go-to. Well, it was until this comparison sheet came about. And that's why we're doing it to find a bent erasable pencil so I can use different colours. Right, Caran d'Ache, as you can see, and it looks really creamy on the page. A lot creamy and softer than that one, but this one was heavily, well, what was it? One of the more denser pencils. I think the Crayola was the worst. Right, let's have a go. Oh wow. Wow, I was not expecting that. An awesome blue pencil, but I don't know if you can see, but there's a bit of a difference between what's left behind from where I erased. The Norris one had stained the page a little bit, but it's a bit more lined with the Caran d'Ache one. So even though then the Caran d'Ache was more dense, it's actually erased a lot better. Oh, I never knew that. See, this is why you should experiment. Because I never knew that, and I'm actually really impressed despite the fact that I found it hard to manoeuvre the pencil. Right, so this is the Crayola one. This one was the more heavily dense pencils, even more dense than the Caran d'Ache. So let's have a see. Oh, interesting development. Well, I really have no idea what to say. I mean, from the two that was dense and heavily dense, the erasing far better than the Staedtler Norris, which is the softest pencil. And I'm putting the same pressure down as if I was, you know, really trying to erase into where like you normally would. And even on camera you can see that there is barely any red or black left behind. I wonder if the dense and the length the easier it's going to erase, but you know, I really don't know. I'm just in awe at the moment. Right. So, and now on to the Faber-Castells. And at the moment, as we're going from cheapest to the more expensive, and we're on the second from last most expensive, it seems that the pencils are getting better and better and, you know, erasing. So let's have a look. I'm gonna eat my words one of these days. Again, another good erase. And then it's gone to the same good erase as the Crayola. I mean, the blank one, that one has practically completely erased. Okay. Well done, Faber-Castells, and that was actually a light pencil. Well, it felt like some paper, and you know, and had more manoeuvrability, and it looks like it's got the better erasability from the super dense one. Right, now on to the Prismacolor Col-Erase, last one. And there you go, and just a little tiny bit of staining, but it erases. And this one was the most expensive, and was very, very light to work with. It had excellent manoeuvrability on the page. It erases well. And so as you can see from the top, we've got the cheapest. And as we go down further, you can see the quality of the pencils, the quality of the erasing, and the quality overall. I think so far my favourite has to be the Faber-Castells, which is the second from last most expensive. And then probably second to that is Prismacolors. But it's all down to what it is you want. I mean, like you can say, if you're doing sketching, you don't really want to erase everything. You know, especially like me, if you're using these for watercolours, you still need to see everything underneath. But in the way for myself, I think I would actually continue using these. And I think, if anything, I really do like the Faber-Castells. Right, now moving on to durability. This one I'm not looking forward to, as I've said before, because I'm going to be breaking leads. So I'm going to start with the art box. So, scribbling on. Right, that was an easy break. A too easy break, so don't be heavy-handed. And we get my little sharpening pot out, see how it sharpens. And it's a bit stiff to sharpen, but the eraser shavings aren't coming out in one piece. Well, no problems there. Right, next is Staedtler Norris. I don't know why I'm doing this, but it's just prove how it goes down on the page again. Here we go. Ooh, oh geez, that flew halfway across my room. So again, not much pressure going down. Erasing time. I erase this pencil far too often. Right, this one's actually very messy and I can hear it going on the way in. Right, no problems there. And it's sharp again. Oh god, and this one I'm not looking forward to because it's the most expensive single pencil, Caran d'Ache. How good you can hear on the page. Right. Oh god. Honestly, you would have thought that I was, pulling teeth rather than snapping leads. Whoa. And that took a little bit more force and because it's a thicker lead. Now, apparently people have complained that these break easily. And so far, they've all pretty much broke at the same pressure. Sharpening. Oh, this one is actually sharpening like a dream. Is leaving a lot of residue there, like. Ugh. So always have a shaving pot thing really well. Back to a sharp point. Next, Crayola. Oh, again, the thickness of it. Honestly, I may as well be drawn in sandpaper and it's that hard. Right. Durability. Ooh. Okay. So it does break, just a very odd one. I think maybe it's because the wood's a lot different. I mean, as you can see, the wood does look a lot smoother than the others. I mean, in comparison to that one, this wood is a lot smoother. Sharpening. sharpens all right. I don't see any colours coming through yet. And there we go. It's coming out on in on 1p, and back to a sharp point. Right, next up is Faber-Castell. Oh, I love going from super dense to really light. Oh, such a dream to work with. I really do like these pencils so far. And brick test. Oh, only the tip went. And there goes the rest. Apparently these had really bad reviews as well. But so far I'm having no problems. Just breaking them on purpose. I don't know what to say about sharpening. It's just sharpening a pencil, they make a mess, they make a point. Ha ha ha. And back to being sharp. Right, next and last is the Prismacolor. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but you can see how hard I am to really push to get the last one to break. Oh, the super lightness of the lead. Oh, love this pencil. I did not just say that. Right, breakability test. Ooh. And true to Prismacolor style, I had literally barely put any pressure on it. And it broke. It's different if you've got the pencil holding upwards. I mean, you know, it will still break, but on its side it breaks so easily. And like I mentioned earlier, of my normal Prismacolors break easy. Prismacolors are notoriously easy to break. I mean, I've gone a lot of my Prismacolor premieres broken within like 2 seconds of using them. I've rarely used them, and a lot of them have you know, lost an awful lot of lead because of constant breakage. The lead is so fragile. Sharpening test. Sharpening like a normal pencil, making a mess, and there's the infamousy. It's breaking every time I sharpen it. And again, oh, Prismacolor, why did you have to do this to me? Oh, I wish I'd broken it now, probably shattered the entire lead. Right, that's 3, and it's still breaking. 4, and it's still breaking. I am probably using the wrong sharpener. I normally use the bigger one because apparently if you use, I'm not even in frame, apparently if you use the bigger one, it's not meant to break as much, and hopefully saves you lead. So we'll try, and it broke again. Why did I have to do this? I've got bits flying everywhere, and we've got finally some kind of a point. So yeah, this was a very painful test to do, and now I know why. If you look at one of the Artbox pencils, like that I only sharpened once. The Prismacolor was around about the same length when I first started, and that's what it's like now after 5 sharpenings. So yeah, Unfortunately, Prismacolor does fail the durability test. Again, because the leads are so fragile. Which now brings us into our last and probably pointless test. But I'll show you how it looks after using a kneadable eraser. It's now the watercolour test. And for me personally, I think it's a good idea, so I'm going to start by getting my kneaded eraser. I've used this earlier and I have no idea what it's composed of, but it really does not feel like one of my other erasers. It practically just rips everything off the page. So again, I have no idea what it is I'm doing. Things are falling off my table. I mean, you only need to do it very lightly, so you can still see the pencil lead. Don't know, but again, you still need to be able to see into both the watercolours and some blue, and that is far too dark. And you can just bound see something, but like once you start layering up as well, you won't be able to see it. But with the yellow, you can see it. But it just depends on what it is you're looking for. I mean, it's turned a little bit tiny green on my page. And next is the Staedtler Norris. Try not to put too much water on, and as you can tell, I'm not doing a very good job. But you can barely see because it's the same colour. And then, sorry, just the buzzer going outside in the communal area. And I've lost my trail of thought. But this is why I'm doing this comparison test, so I can have similar colours to the watercolours. Right, next is Caran d'Ache. I wasn't realised I haven't needed it. Oh, jeez. Don't know where the black's come from. And it's still a bit hard to erase. And the Staedtler Norris and then does actually erase really well. And so I'm going to try a bit of lighter blue this time. I mean, once you start building up colours, you're not going to really see it. And that one, it actually works out really well, because the colours are so similar. I think Crayola. Oh wow, that actually erases really well. So I'll see it a little bit, maybe a bit more. Doing its job. And the Faber-Castell one isn't erasing as much as I hoped. I'll give it a try. The sun's come out and now I can't see a thing. But it's blending in quite well with the watercolours. Right, and last but not least, the Prismacolors. Sorry for all the rattling and banging. And so, and the camera, it's almost gone. I can still see it on the page. Right. bit more water. And again, another good successful test. So I'm found and good all around. They're kneading away really well. Quite surprised with the Caran d'Ache one. So as you can see in the ant bunks, there is still some deeper lines there, which was a bit hard to get rid of. I mean, again, depending on what your aesthetic is, you know, if you actually want to have darker lines, if you're going to go over the top of it with something else, you know, and again, it's just down to personal preference with all of this. I just wanted to see what it actually looked like with watercolours on top. And as you can see, that's the Staedtler Norris. You can't miss it because it's the only red one on this page across the board. You know, and so you can still see some of that. That one is the Caran d'Ache, which is, well, apart from getting my nail polish all over it, you can barely see that one. This one is the Crayola and didn't fully erase, but you can still see it and it's not too bad. I mean, I keep saying 1,000,001 times, you know, I want to be able to see it. If I want to go over and again in the same blue, in the dark colour, you know, and over in a fine line, and you know, then, you know, it's perfect. And that's the Faber-Castell. Still see it just a bit. I mean, they all need to do really well. And that one is the Prismacolor Col-Erase. I know that this wasn't the best comparison video out there, but I've definitely learned a lot from doing this. And for my first time, you know, I'm probably being biased, but I haven't done too bad. Are you enjoying the Risibility challenge? Because as I found out, for once, the more expensive, you know, from the Caran d'Ache down to the Prismacolor, you know, apparently if you do spend a little bit more, you can get better results, especially with the Faber-Castells. And even with the durability tests, you know, how easy did the break? I mean, you've heard me go on for 10 minutes of how bad the Prismacolor one was and how many times it took for me to sharpen it. It was ridiculous, but that's what I'm used to because I only have Prismacolors. And yeah, so what do I think? Well, I think for me personally, I actually really like the Faber-Castells. You know, I love the colour range. You know, the price isn't too bad for what you get. You know, like I said, the risibility was really good. The durability was excellent. And I think second to that, again down to personal preference, but surprisingly, I would say Prismacolors for a good second. Again, being biased because I've used them, just not good, especially if you're paying like £64 for a 24 pack. The colour selection for the 12 pack is really poor, and you can only find single colours. But other than that, and that's my opinion, I would go with Faber-Castells. If you're looking for a really good cheap one, you know, for mid-range I'd say Crayola. For super cheap, I'd probably say the Stedler Norris. You can find them anywhere. So yeah, for super cheap I would go with the Stedler Norris. For mid-range I'd say Crayola, if you don't mind the super denseness. And for more top range I'd say Faber-Castell. And there you go. It's my opinion, you've seen the result, so you can make your own informed decisions. So with that said, thank you for watching my very first comparison video. It was really interesting. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. Why am I laughing? I don't know. So then, thank you guys, and I'll see you next time.